Level 1. The basics. You found a wallet on a subway platform in Chicago at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday night, brown leather, cracked at the spine. $63 cash, a Visa debit card, a library card, a driver's license. The photo on the license is a man named Gerald Fitch, 44 years old, 5 feet 11 inches, organ donor. You take the cash. That part's obvious, but you look at the card for a long time before you pocket that too. Gerald's probably already canceled it. Probably called from the train, but maybe not. Maybe he's still looking. You try it at a gas station on Milwaukee Avenue. Pump 4, $14 in regular. The card clears. That's the first time, not the last. You tell yourself it's circumstantial. You found it. That's different from stealing. It isn't different. But that's what you tell yourself at 11:30 at night, standing under a yellow light while the pump ticks. You spend $340 on Gerald's card over 4 days before it gets flagged. Groceries, a tank of gas, 2 trips to Walgreens. Nothing dramatic, nothing traceable to a specific face. The bank eats the loss and sends Gerald a new card with a different number. Gerald files a dispute. 14 minutes of phone time with a call center in Arizona. He gets his money back. Nobody looks for you. No investigation, no report. The bank writes it off as a fraud incident, one of 47 that week. You got away with $340 and a feeling you weren't expecting. Not guilt. Something closer to ease. Like a door you thought was locked just swung open. Level 2. You get better at it. A gym bag left on a bench at the YMCA on Western Avenue. Inside, a phone, a gym pass, and a Chase Sapphire with no pin protection on tap to pay. The phone is locked, but the wallet isn't. This time, you've got a name, an address from an insurance card, and a credit line you haven't tested yet. You spend carefully, under $100 at a time. Tap to pay only. No signatures, no cameras if you can help it. You hit a Jewel Osco on Addison at 6:45 a.m. when the self-checkout lanes have no attendant. $92 in gift cards. Gift cards are cash. That's what you've learned. Nobody flags a gift card purchase the way they flag a Best Buy run for a flat screen. You move the gift cards fast, sell them on Facebook Marketplace for 80 cents on the dollar. Clean money in your hand by Thursday. 3 months in, you've run the same playbook 8 times. Different neighborhoods, different victims, different cards. You average about $600 per card before the fraud alerts kick in. You've pulled $4,800 in 4 months, working 4 hours a week. You've got a system. It feels almost professional. The victims notice the charges. They dispute them. Their banks cover the losses. You tell yourself no one actually gets hurt. That's the lie that makes the whole thing possible. You believe it because you need to believe it. The alternative is harder to live with. Level 3. The upgrade. You stop relying on physical wallets. Too much luck involved. Too much exposure. You start buying data instead. A forum you found through a Reddit thread that disappeared 3 hours after you bookmarked it. The site sells full identity packages. Name, social security number, date of birth, mother's maiden name, answers to security questions, sometimes even a credit score and a list of current accounts. Gerald Fitch was a one-time thing. Now you can buy a Gerald Fitch for $35. You buy 6. You start opening credit card accounts online. Capital One, Citi, Discover. You use VPN routing through a server in Amsterdam. You mail the cards to a vacant rental house 2 streets over. The realtor leaves a lockbox on the door. You check the mailbox every other day. 3 cards arrive. The 4th gets intercepted. But 3 out of 4 works fine. Total credit line across the 3 accounts, $28,000. You don't run them to the limit. That triggers flags. You run them to 40% and disappear. The money moves through prepaid Visa cards bought with cash, then into Venmo accounts with recycled phone numbers. From there, into a PayPal account registered to a name that doesn't exist. You cash out in chunks of $900 to stay under the bank's automated alert threshold. The whole cycle takes about 11 days. You pull $8,400 from the 3 cards before you burn the accounts. The victims are scattered, one in Tampa, one in Portland, one outside Pittsburgh. They'll spend hours on the phone. They'll freeze their credit. One of them will cry, "You know this in the abstract." You don't let it get more specific than that. Level 4. You start thinking bigger. Credit cards are capped. Accounts get closed. The margins are real, but the ceiling is low. You've read enough in the forums to understand what's sitting above you. Synthetic identity fraud. It's not using someone's real identity. It's building a fake one on top of a real social security number, usually a number that belongs to a child or an elderly person who doesn't use credit, or someone recently deceased whose information hasn't been scrubbed from the system yet. You attach a false name to the number. Open a secured credit card with a $500 deposit. That account reports to the bureaus. You build the credit slowly. 6 months of on-time payments, small balances, no drama. The profile looks clean because it is clean. You made it clean deliberately. This is called a credit profile build. The forums have guides, you follow them like instructions. At month 7, the synthetic profile has a 680 credit score. You apply for a personal loan through an online lender. $10,000. It funds in 48 hours. You pull the money through 3 accounts and into cash within a week. Then you let the profile go delinquent, the account defaults. The lender writes it off. Somewhere in the system, there's a social security number attached to a default loan on a name that doesn't exist. And the real owner of that number has no idea yet. Maybe never finds out. Maybe finds out when they apply for a mortgage in 6 years and something in their file doesn't add up. You don't think about that. You've got $10,000 in cash and a process that works. Level 5. You scale. You're running 4 synthetic profiles simultaneously, each one at a different stage of the build. One just opened, one at month 4, one at month 7, one ready to bust out. The bust out is the harvest. You draw down every available credit line at once, across every account on the profile, in a 48-hour window before the lenders can communicate. Cards, personal loan, whatever lines you've built. Then you walk away. 4 profiles running correctly means 4 paydays a year. Conservative estimate, $45,000 annually. Real number, if you push it, closer to $80,000. You've done the math 4 times from 4 different angles, and it keeps coming out the same. This is better money than your job pays. You quit your job in April. The operation requires organization. You've got a spreadsheet, columns for profile age, credit score, total available credit, bust out readiness, exposure risk. Color coded. Green means go, yellow means wait. Red means burn it and start over. You've got burner phones in a shoebox under the bed, 1 per profile. You've got 6 VPN subscriptions rotating through servers in Germany, Romania, and the Netherlands. You've got a P.O. box in a name that required a fake ID to open, but the woman at the UPS store barely looked. You're methodical, you're careful. You feel like the system is a machine you've learned to operate while everyone else just stands in front of it getting processed. 6 months in, you're making more money than you ever did legally. You've pulled $61,000. The apartment is nicer. You paid off your car. You bought your sister's kid a birthday present without checking your bank account first. That's a new feeling. You're good at this. That's what you tell yourself when the doubt comes in at 2 a.m., which it does sometimes. Not guilt exactly. More like the specific dread of someone who knows they're standing on a surface that looks solid but has no idea what's underneath. You push it down. The money is real. The money is in your account. That part is not abstract. Level 6. The mistake. You've been working clean, but clean has limits. You rush a bust out on a profile that isn't ready. Month 5 instead of month 7. You pull $14,000 across 3 accounts in 36 hours. 2 of the 3 accounts flag in real time. One of the lenders puts a hold on the disbursement and routes it to a fraud review team. That team assigns it to an analyst. The analyst is good. She starts cross-referencing application metadata, IP routing, device fingerprints, application timing patterns. Your VPN has been consistent, but your device fingerprint hasn't. You've been cycling phones, but using the same laptop, the same browser. She builds a cluster, 17 synthetic profiles, not 4, because she found the others you didn't know she could find. 17 profiles, 6 lenders, $91,000 in total exposure across 14 months. She escalates it to their fraud unit. The fraud unit files a suspicious activity report with FinCEN within 72 hours. You don't know any of this. You're buying groceries on a Wednesday. You feel fine. The $14,000 didn't fully land, but you wrote off the loss and moved on. You've still got 3 working profiles, still got the spreadsheet, still got the system. You cook dinner and watch television, and the night feels ordinary. That's the thing about the net. You never feel it closing until it's closed. Level 7, the knock. It's a Thursday morning at 8:14. 2 people at the door, badges, one from the Secret Service Financial Crimes Unit, one from the FTC. They're polite. That's the part that surprises you. You expected something louder. They ask if you'll answer some questions. You say, sure, because you've practiced this. You know your rights. You know what to say and what not to say. But your hands are already giving you away. They can see it. The lead agent has seen this specific conversation 200 times. She knows exactly where you are inside it. She explains that they've identified fraudulent credit applications linked to devices and accounts connected to your address. She uses words like allegedly and potentially, but her tone is a straight line. They're not here to ask if you did it. They know you did it. They're here to see if you'll make it worse by lying. You don't say anything incriminating. You ask for a lawyer. Good instinct. But it's late for instincts. They've already got 14 months of evidence, 17 synthetic profiles, 31 credit applications, $91,000 in fraudulent disbursements, and a digital trail that took one analyst 3 weeks to build. Your lawyer is a former public defender, now in private practice. She's good. She tells you, the evidence is layered and the federal exposure is serious. Wire fraud, identity theft, bank fraud, aggravated identity theft, which carries a mandatory 2-year enhancement on top of whatever else you get. The prosecutor has done this math already. He offers a deal. 4 counts. Plead guilty. Sentencing guidelines put you at 46 to 57 months. You take the deal. Level 8. Sentencing. The courtroom is smaller than you imagined. You've pictured this room in different versions for months, each one slightly more dramatic. The real thing is beige walls, fluorescent lighting, and a clock on the wall that's 3 minutes fast. The judge is 62. She reads the charges without inflection. Wire fraud, bank fraud, aggravated identity theft. She asks if you understand the terms of the plea. You say yes. Your voice sounds wrong to you, too thin. She sentences you to 51 months in federal prison and orders restitution of $91,000 to the 7 lending institutions identified in the investigation. You'll pay that back after release at a rate your lawyer says will take most of your working life. They transfer you to FCE Terre Haute 6 weeks later. Medium security. The intake process takes 7 hours. They photograph you, fingerprint you, take your clothes, issue you a uniform and an ID number that you'll be called by before your name for the next 4 years. Your cell is small. The mattress is 2 inches thick. Your cellmate has been in for 3 years and has no interest in your story, which is fine because your story isn't interesting here. Nobody's is. Just numbers, just time. The people you stole from are still out there, working through disputes, getting letters from credit bureaus, explaining to mortgage lenders why there's a delinquent account attached to a name they've never heard on a social security number. That's theirs. Some of them will spend years untangling it. Some will never fully untangle it. You think about that sometimes in the first few months, less after that. The days have a rhythm, and the rhythm takes up the space where the thinking used to live. Count at 5:30. Chow at 6:15. Work detail at 7. Your restitution balance as of today is $91,000. You haven't paid $1 of it yet. You don't have $1 to pay.